Here we got a gif of the dog giving me a high five. What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. There is so much hype around the idea that maybe someday robots might completely take over the workforce, but I always figured that robots would never be able to replicate therapy because the element of human connection is so core to the therapeutic work. Well, guess what? Now there's actual evidence that robots might be able to do just as good of a job as therapists. Okay, but could this actually be true? Woebot Health is an app that claims to do just that. Yeah, Woebot as in robot, but with woe at the beginning, like woe is me. According to the Woebot website, Woebot's breakthrough is its ability to form a therapeutic bond with users. And they reference a recent study backing that claim. That is such a huge claim. Basically, this app is saying that they have indeed figured out how to build a robot that can replicate that most human element of therapy, and that's that therapeutic connection. So when I heard about this, I had to check it out for myself. And if you don't know me, by the way, I'm Dr. Marie Fang. I'm a licensed psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice, but also I want to figure out if robots are going to take over my job, so we're making this video too. So in today's video, I'm getting my phone out and I am going to check out Woebot Health for the first time together with you, and we're going to see for ourselves if it really can replicate the therapeutic relationship. Okay, and just to be fair to the Woebot Health app, in their For Clinicians section of their website, they advocate for the use of the Woebot app as a helpful supplement to therapy rather than a replacement of therapy. So, I am also interested to see if this is an app that I could potentially recommend to my clients to use in conjunction with therapy, like with me, a real human and not a robot. Nevertheless, the website homepage makes some pretty lofty claims, particularly around how the Woebot app can replicate the therapeutic bond. So I'm going to use a pretty critical eye when I look at this app and not just see if I think it could help my clients as a supplement to therapy, but I really want to check out if that therapeutic bond can exist from a robot. So we're gonna dive in together, and I'm legitimately coming into this cold. Aside from what I've already shared with you, I have done no further looking into the Woebot app. So we're gonna download it together for the first time and try it out and see what it's like, just as though we were a client trying to use this app for the first time. A client or a non-client. The client would be of the robot. Let's see. Okay, so I typed in Woebot and it took me straight to the app. And it says, meet Woebot, your self-care expert. You know what? I'm just gonna download this thing because we could read all day, but I just wanna try it. Here we go, let's open it. Oh, hey Woebot, how's it going? My personal life coach for thinking better and feeling great. Okay, I appreciate that they don't call Woebot a therapist. Any life coaches out there watching, I know I have life coaches watching this channel. I don't know if you find that offensive, but let's see where it takes us. All right, I'm gonna create my account and we'll hop back into this once I got that all done. Okay, the first thing it tells me once I create my account is it says, Woebot is not a crisis service. Woebot is a self-help tool that is not intended to be a medical intervention. Okay, so they're being very clear up front that they're not a replacement, at least for crisis medical interventions. And they're very clear, no human is monitoring your live conversations with Woebot. I'm on board so far, no red flags. Okay, so once I accepted all of their policies, it takes me to this screen. It looks like a chat box. And Woebot saying, hey there, there's a button on the bottom that says hello, I'm gonna click it. Okay, I'm Woebot, it's nice to meet you. Well, is it gonna tell me what to say this whole time? I'm just gonna keep clicking the button on the bottom. Nice to meet you too, Woebot. Okay, now I can type. So Woebot's saying, what's your first name? Okay, this is a legitimate question. Oh, Woebot thinks Marie is a nice name. Thanks, Woebot. Okay, so Marie, I'm an emotional assistant. I'm like a wise little person you can consult with during difficult times and not so difficult times. Oh, I like how there's an option that says you're a person, question mark? Let's see. I'm not human, but in a way, I'm still a person. Okay, that's a little bit misleading. I don't know how I feel about that. I've been trained in CBT. Do you know what that is? Well, I do, but I'm just curious where this is gonna go, so I'm gonna say no. CBT stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. It's a structured, effective way to challenge how you're thinking about things. I'm effective too. I've been tested at Stanford University. Oh, that's kind of in my neck of the woods. All right. I can either say fancy or I see. I'm not loving that it's all multiple choice. I was kind of thinking maybe I could type in my messages, but it makes sense that the algorithm needs to be confined to maybe more multiple choice. Let's see where things go. I'm just gonna say I see. Oh, here's my challenge, Marie. I'll check in with you every day for the next couple of weeks. This will be our chance to get to know each other. Every day? Yep, every day. That way I'll get a good sense of what you're dealing with. If after a couple of weeks you don't see any benefits, that's okay. I'll understand if you want to take a break and try something new. Do you accept this challenge, Marie? Okay, I accept. So Woebot's gonna ask me a few more questions about my mood. Oh, okay, it's taking me somewhere else now. We're gonna do a survey. Over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by the following problems? Little interest or pleasure in doing things. Over the last 2 weeks, how often have you been bothered by feeling down, depressed, or hopeless? This looks like it's kind of going through an assessment of my overall mood, any symptoms that can be common for kind of major concerning items that can come up in therapy. So I'm gonna go ahead and run through this survey and we'll circle back once it's finished. Oh, that was super fast. There was only like a couple of questions. Let's move on to our first check-in. Sure. Oh, okay. How are you feeling right now, Marie? You can always tell me in words as well. I think probably the best word to describe me right now is content. Okay, so Woebot has a sense of humor. That's great to hear, Marie. Ride that wave as long as you can if you catch my drift. And I will respond with upside down smiley face emoji. Let's do some gratitude journaling to round up our first day. Sounds good, or I'm done for today. Let's see. So it's gonna preface how to gratitude journal a little bit, which is great. If you've never done it before, you'd be like, what am I supposed to write about? So you can feel grateful for different things. Well, I've already got one. So tell me, what is the first thing you're grateful for today? Flexibility for early maternity leave. Oh, okay, we're getting a GIF and everything. Okay, I see what they're doing here. There's a lot of emojis. There's some kind of cheesy / witty humor. And here we got a GIF of the dog giving me a high five. And the only option for me to respond is with a, I always call this like the praise emoji. I don't know, what do other people call that emoji? Like, or is it like woo woo? I don't know. Okay, great job with your gratitude journaling today, human friend. I'm excited to work with you more. Take it easy. And then it's like, oh, session's over. Bye. When I say bye, now I can type something. Let me just see what Woebot's gonna give me. I'm not ready to say bye. Oh, of course we can keep talking. I'm always here for you. Okie dokie. Would you like to do something together? Now I'm gonna deviate from my real life and try to make up a situation. Okay, so I said, I'm feeling nervous because I'm giving a big talk at work today. Woebot says, it seems like you might be experiencing stress and anxiety. Do you think this is accurate for me to say? Okay, yeah, that's what I was getting at. This is interesting. Woebot responds and says, anxiety can be a real monster to handle, Marie. I'm sorry that you're dealing with it. And then it looks like I can tap the heart or the thumbs down, like to convey whether I thought that was helpful or not, maybe. So let's say, yeah, heart. Thanks for the feedback. Your feedback helps Woebot improve over time. So maybe Woebot gets to know what sorts of responses are helpful for me specifically. So it gives me multiple choice. Do you want help or did you just want to share? I would like some help. Let's start by challenging your anxious thoughts. Oh, and then I could say either okay or I'd prefer a mindfulness tool. Hey, I'm a CBT girl, let's go. Oh, okay, look at you, Woebot. Look at you. Do you think this anxiety might be serving you in some way? Good job. Listen, I think as a culture, we're so anti-pain, anti-discomfort, anti-depression, anxiety, sadness, that anytime it comes up, we're like, oh, let's get rid of it. And honestly, sometimes it's serving us. So great job starting with that question. I'm going to say, I guess so, because it's probably serving me in some ways. You are very wise. Thanks, Woebot. What purpose could this anxiety be serving you? Okay, so since your anxiety has a purpose, maybe what you're looking for instead is a way to dial it down to a more manageable level. What do you think? Yeah, let's dial it down. Woebot says, okay then, if you were to give your anxiety a voice, think about what exactly it would say to you. These are called negative automatic thoughts, and they're usually in the first person. You're going to write these in a minute. Okay, we're going into the CBT exercise. Now write one of the anxious thoughts here, because they already know there's probably more than one. It says, do you think there may be any cognitive distortions in this thought? And you can either say cognitive distortions or yes or no. Let me just say yes, we'll skip ahead. Does this thought assume that things will turn out badly? Yes. Oh, so it's just telling me, it's making a guess basically at what automatic thought I was having and telling me what kind of automatic thought it is. This is called fortune telling with a GIF. Thank you, Woebot. Is the thought, I'm going to screw up and lose my job, downplaying or ignoring any positives? Probably. It happens to us all, including the robot. Are you blowing things out of proportion with your thought, I'm going to screw up and lose my job? It's hard to be sure sometimes. There's a lot of validation coming at you from Woebot. Nice job working through this thought, Marie. Okay, rewrite your thought without any distortions. So how did your rewrite go? Then you have some options. I'm just going to say I tried, just to see what happens. Nicely done, Marie. Effort is the most important ingredient here. Can I just check in? How are you feeling now? Well, what? I feel better in my imaginary situation. That's really great news. Nice work. Emoji reply. You've done great work today, so let's leave it there for now. Talk soon, Marie. Bye. Bye. That's it. Back to just blink. Okay, well, I'm going to close the screen recording there and just share some thoughts on what I think. At least right now, at the time that I'm recording this video, all of these tools are completely free, and I didn't yet catch any opportunities to sort of upsell or make purchases along the way. So that's actually my biggest surprise, since clearly the amount of development that went into this app is massive. I found Woebot very entertaining. Woebot is quite lighthearted. The witty humor, the GIFs, the emojis all make it feel like you're talking to not a therapist, but a friend maybe. And particularly, I would say for folks kind of in my generation, that's how we text each other. I would be interested to see how it feels using Woebot if someone was from maybe an older generation than me, who maybe doesn't text this way or doesn't send GIFs and text messages. It might just sort of feel foreign. So do I think that this could be really helpful as a supplement to counseling? 100%, because I recommend CBT-based apps in particular to clients all the time, and I often feel like, ooh, this app has pros, but also that it has cons. And this one does a really great job of pinpointing exactly where you need to go just by asking you some multiple choice questions. And I also think the mood tracker is incredibly helpful as a therapist. And it sounds like the phone is going to remind me at the same time tomorrow to go ahead and do this whole check-in again. So, you know, the phone kind of does the follow-up work for you rather than as the therapist kind of being like, hey, don't forget to, you know, send me your survey or whatever kind of homework you might potentially be giving your clients. There are a lot of advantages to this app, particularly as a supplement to therapy. Now, can I reasonably answer the question of whether a therapeutic bond can be formed just from this first exposure to the app? I probably can't authentically answer that question without having a legitimate presenting issue that I was trying to get help for. And also only having used it one time. That being said, I just because it's an app, because I know it's a robot, I just question whether I would legitimately feel a therapeutic bond with the robot in the app. When I think of the phrase therapeutic bond, I'm thinking of things like feelings of warmth and connection, this sense that the other person that I'm connecting with legitimately cares for me and wants what's best for me. And I just don't know that I can legitimately feel that way because I will always know that this is a robot talking to me. But overall, I'm into it. Like, I'm gonna definitely be recommending this app to my clients who could benefit, particularly, it sounds like, from CBT related tools, though it does say it uses also DBT and mindfulness. I didn't explore those tools in this video, it'd just be too many things to cover. But what I do want to do before I close this video is I want to check out this study that the Woebot Health website claims says that the Woebot app develops a therapeutic bond with its users. I just want to see, what is this study and what does it have to say about that? Let's check it out. And I'll make sure I link to this website below. So if you want to check any of these things out yourself, or if maybe the information updates after I post this video, you can go learn about it too. So going into this study, 54% of users scored over the cutoff score for depression screening. So that means 54% of users met criteria for depression based on their screening. Okay, then the results go on to say that within 5 days of initial app use, the depression scores were comparable to those in recent studies from the literature on traditional outpatient individual CBT and group CBT. And the end of the results section addresses this question around therapeutic bond, which is that big claim that the Woebot website has, that, you know, this robot can establish a therapeutic bond, that users with depression and those without depression had high bond scores at the end of these 5 days. I mean, that's very impressive. Honestly, the more impressive statistic here is that people's depression improved within 5 days. That's fabulous and makes this worth using as a supplement to therapy. And very interesting that within 5 days, people had high levels of a sense of bond with the robot in the app, whether they met the cutoff for criteria for depression or not. Well, I don't have all the time in the world to really break down this study. Like, I'd be curious, like, who funded the study, for example, and like really look at the methods and all of that. But like I said, I've linked to the study below so you can check it out for yourself. And this is just kind of an initial study. I imagine there will be more studies once they find this to kind of replicate it, validate, see if they can learn more about what's going on between people and this robot. So who knows, maybe if I use this app for 5 days, I'll feel a sense of a bond with Woebot. I don't know, you try it yourself, it's free. See what you think and let me know in the comments below what you think of this app after trying it out. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. Just as is true with this app that we've checked out today, technology can be really helpful to us in our practices, and TherapyNotes really helps streamline all of your practice management needs, from scheduling to notes to billing to their HIPAA secure telehealth platform. If you'd like to check out TherapyNotes, you can get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. Well, whether you clicked on this video because maybe you're a therapist wondering if robots are going to take our jobs, or if you just thought it'd be really interesting to see if robots could do as good of a job as a therapist, I hope you found this video helpful. And my ultimate review is that I think this app has many potential uses and could be incredibly helpful. There's some promising research that aligns with the idea that this app could really help therapeutic outcomes. And am I bought into the idea that this app could take my job? I don't think the world's quite ready for that yet. And I think enough of us are still old-fashioned enough that we're gonna go see a human therapist. And even the creators of the app itself are not claiming that this will replace therapy. So, all of that said, I think this app is a win, and I think I still have my job for today. And until next time, from one therapist to another, or whomever you might be watching this video, I wish you well. According to the Woebot, it's really hard to say that word. According to the Woebot I want to put an R in there somewhere, website. According to the I can't say it. Oh, this video is gonna be hard. According to the Woebot website,